Today, we turn our attention to the state of Alabama, where Kenneth Eugene Smith, a death row inmate known for his remarkable resilience, finds himself yet again in the legal spotlight. Smith, who has previously survived a botched execution attempt, is embroiled in a new lawsuit against the state of Alabama's persistent efforts to execute him. This latest chapter in Smith's ongoing saga is playing out in the United States District Court for the Middle District of Alabama. Kenneth Smith has been a long-term resident of the Alabama Department of Corrections at William C. Holman Correctional Facility. His last encounter with death, which sounds like something straight out of a suspense film, was a fiasco when officials failed to properly administer lethal injection. This led to the postponement of his execution, marking it as Alabama's third consecutive execution mishap. These events have sparked widespread debate over the state's efficacy in handling such grave matters. In an unexpected twist, Alabama is now proposing a novel execution method, nitrogen hypoxia. This method, untested and more akin to a scientific experiment than an established execution protocol, has never been used before. Smith, seemingly cast in a role he never auditioned for, is set to be the first test subject of this controversial method. Smith's lawsuit paints a harrowing picture of a man's desperate struggle against a relentless system. He contends that nitrogen hypoxia, clouded in secrecy and fraught with uncertainty, poses a significant risk of pain and suffering, potentially infringing upon his constitutional rights. The recently released but heavily redacted execution protocol only adds to the ominous nature of his predicament. In a darkly ironic development, Smith, who survived a lethal injection due to a failed IV line, is now slated for an execution method reminiscent of a dystopian tale. The state of Alabama appears determined to break new ground in execution methods, with Smith as their unwilling pioneer. This case transcends Smith's personal battle for survival. It casts a revealing light on the complex and often troubling world of capital punishment. Riddled with legal and ethical dilemmas, Smith's situation questions the very foundations of the death penalty in America. As we continue to monitor this legal tussle, one cannot ignore the broader implications, the moral and human costs of a state's unyielding pursuit of execution. Smith, the inmate who seemingly refuses to succumb to death, and the state of Alabama, steadfast in their resolve, continue their somber tango under the watchful eyes of a nation grappling with the moral complexities of capital punishment. For the latest developments in this gripping story and more, stay tuned to Breaking Through News. And if you're not already subscribed, be sure to follow Breaking Through News wherever you get your updates for in-depth coverage and insightful analysis on stories that matter.